Welcome dear students, welcome back to our mathematics class, chapter 1, real number, part 2. Previously we have discussed about the type of numbers, how to identify them. Then we have learned rational and irrational, all these things we have learned. Here we have to learn about the multiple factor and the theorem related to it called fundamental theorem of arithmetic. Before going for the fundamental theorem of arithmetic, we shall understand what is factor, what is multiple. So factor and multiple are defined or given for a given number. Now what is the factor for a given number? Factor for a given number are those numbers which are able to divide the given number. Means a number p is a factor of another number n if the n by p is equals to k. K is an integer. So example of factor can be, say 3 is a factor of 12. Means if we divide the 12 by 3, we are getting an integer 4. Another, all the factor of 18 means all integer which can divide 18, and they are 1, 2, 3, 6, 9, 18. Means 1, 2, 3, 6, 9, 18 are the factor of 18. So factor of any given number cannot exceed from that number. Here we are able to understand that the factor of 18 is not exceeding the 18, but it can go up to 18 only. So therefore the factor can never exceed the given number. So how to identify a factor? For identifying, we shall go for checking the divisibility. So what are the various prime factors which can divide a given number? Then by combination of these prime factors, we can get the other factor. So divisibility check is used to determine the factor, and this divisibility check can be done in form of tabular division or through the factor tree. This thing we will learn. It is also possible that two or more number may have common factor, and this gives the concept of HCF if we consider the highest common factor. Now the other concept is multiplier. Multiplier is nothing but it is multiplication of given number with some integer to get a larger number. So that larger number is multiplier of a given number. So a number m is multiplier of n if the former is exactly divisible by the latter without leaving a remainder. Here the multiplier m, this is the former, and latter is n. M is divisible by n, then m is multiplier of n. So if we take the ratio of m to n, it will give another integer. So multiplier is nothing but it can be obtained by multiplying the given number with other integer q. It may be 1, 2, 3, 4, any integer. So 36 is multiplier of 18 as well as 12, 9, 4, 3, 2, even 6 also. So multiplier of 6 are, if we are taking the 6, then its multiplier will be the table of 6, means 12, 18, 24, 36, 42, 86. So multiplier can never be less than the number itself. Yes? It is either equal or always higher than the given number. So multiply the given number by another integer, you will get the multiplier. It is also possible that two or more number have common multiplier. This gives the concept of LCM, lowest common multiplier. Now let us go for how to find the factor and multiplier for a given number. So factor, the concept behind factor is that, so factor of any composite number is determined by checking its divisibility by different natural number up to that number. So it is determined by factor tree method or tabular division method by using the prime numbers or prime factors may be repeated and tried in increasing order and continue to next level up to the number itself. So by this way, any composite number n can be written as product of their prime factor. If n is a composite number, then it can be written as product of their prime factors. So if we consider p1 as the first prime number factor which is occurring n1 time, then it will be p1 to the power n1 multiplied by p2 to the power n2, p3 to the power n3, so on up to pm to the power nm. So here all other possible factors which may not be prime can be obtained by combination of these prime factors. Let us take one example to understand this. So we have to find the prime factor of 360, then we have to get all other factors of this 360 which may not be prime, and we have to get all the possible factor of this 360 which include 1 and itself. Then we have to get the total number of possible factors. So for getting the factor, we have to first make a factor tree or tabular division. First take this 360 and get the smallest prime number which can divide this 360. It is the 2 which can divide this 360. So on dividing 360 by 2, we can get 180. Now this 180 is further divisible by 2, we will get 90. 90 is divisible by 2, we will get 45. Now 45 is divisible by 3, we will get 15. 15 is divisible by 3, we will get 5. Now this 5 is the prime, so no need to further divide, we can stop here. Or even if we divide by 5, we will lastly get the 1. So therefore this 360 can be written as the product of these prime factors. So what are the prime factors? Prime factor contain 2 which is occurring 3 times, 3 which is occurring 2 times, and 5. So 2, 3, 5 are the prime factors. This thing can also be represented in the form of tree. So it is nothing but rearrangement of this tabular division. Take 360, 360 is divisible by this 2, whatever the quotient remain will be 180, so take this 180, now this 180 is divisible by 2, so the quotient become 90, now 90 is further divisible by 2, we will get 45, 45 is divisible by 3, so this 45 can be written as 3, then multiplied by 15, now this 15 can be written as 3 multiplied by 5. So here we are getting this 5, this 3, then this 3, this 2, this 2, to this 2. These are their prime factors. And on multiplying this prime factor, we will get this 3, 6. So this is the way to get the prime factors. Not all the factors. Other factors can be obtained by combination of this prime factor. So let us find out these questions one by one. So first is all prime factors. What are the prime factor? 2 is the prime factor which is occurring 3 times. 3 is other prime factor which is occurring 2 times, and 5 is occurring 1 time. Then we have to write this 360 as the product of their prime factors. So 360 can be written as 2 into 2 into 2 into 3 into 5. So it becomes 2 to the power 3, 3 square and 5. So writing in this way or expressing in the form of prime factor having certain power, this is called fundamental theorem of arithmetic. Now the next part is we have to get all the factors. Other factors can be obtained by combining these factors. Say one factor is our 2, other factor is other 2. So combining these 2 with this 2, we will get 4. Combining these 2 or even this 3, 2, we will get the factor 8. Combining this 2 with 3, we will get the factor 6. Combining this 3 with this 3, we will get the factor 9. Combining this 3 with the 5, we will get the other factor like 15 and so on. Even further combination of 3, 3 and 5, we will get the factor 45. So by this combination, we can write all possible factors, and they are 1, is factor of every number, so it will be 1. If we exclude 1, then it is the 2, 3, 5, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, 12, 15, 18, 20, 24, 30, 36, 40, 45, then the 60, 72, 90, 120 and 180. These are the factors which is excluding the 1 and the number itself. If we include 1 and the number itself, then it will give us the total possible factor, and the total possible factors are like this one. If we count this factor, we will get it is 24 in number. So there are total 24 factors, but writing all these possible factors then counting the number of possible factor is quite difficult. So there is a shortcut method. So total number of possible factor can be obtained by increasing the exponent of each prime factor by 1, then multiplying them together. Say for 2 the exponent is 3, so increase this 3 by 1, you will get this 4. Prime factor 3, the exponent is 2, so increase it by 1, you will get the number 3. Then for factor 5, the exponent is 1, increase it by 1, you will get 2. Multiply this 4, 3 and 2, you will get 24 as the total number of prime factor. So this way, by knowing a number and making its factor tree or tabular division, we can get all possible factors, all the prime factors, total number of factors. These are the important part of this. Now the next concept is multiplier. So what is this multiplier? We have already learned multiplier is that number which is obtained by multiplying the given number with some integer. So multiplier is always higher than the given. So we have to write the 4 multipliers of this 18. So you have to just write the table of 18, you will get the multiplier. Even 18 itself is also the multiplier of 18. So keep in mind the number itself is the factor as well as multiplier. Coming to the next question, which was asked in 2015 and 16. Find the smallest natural number by which 1200 should be multiplied so that the square root of the product is a rational number. So we have to get the smallest natural number what you can multiply to this 1200 so that it become a perfect square. Means if we take the square root of this 1200, we will get a natural number or integer. So for getting that, go for factorization of this 1200. Here it is represented in tabular form. So in tabular form we are getting 1200 divisible by 2, 600 divisible by 2, 300 divisible by 2, 150 divisible by 2, 75 divisible by 3 become 25 divisible by 5 become 5. So therefore this 1200 can be written as 2 into 2 into 2 into 2 into 3 into 5 into 5. Means it is 2 to the power 4, 3 into 5. Say we want to get the square root of this 1200. So it is better to convert this 2 to the power 4 as the square of some other number. So 2 to the power 4 can be written as 4 square into 3 into 5 square. Now we have to get the other natural number by which we shall multiply this 1200. So let that natural number be k. Then after multiplying this 1200 with k, we have to take the square root. So square root of this 1200k, it become like this. So 4 square into 3 into 5 square into k. Here 4 and 5 can be taken out, but 3k remain inside. Now as per question, we have to get rid of this square root so that the square root of the product is a rational number. Because of this root 3k, it is irrational. So we have to choose suitably the value of k so that it become rational. So k can be taken as 3, then it become 3 square, it will come out. Or even we can take 27, then it become under root of 3 into 27 means under root of 81, it become 9, then it will come out. So possible values of k are 3, 27, 243, but we have to get the smallest natural number. Here the smallest is 3. So the smallest number or natural number by which it shall be multiplied is 3. So this is what the significance of a multiplier. So this was about our multiplier. Based on this concept, various 1 marks question are framed and it is being asked in examination. So one of the question which was asked in 2019 is, so express 429 as the product of their prime factors. So you go for the factorization of 429. Here you are getting that 429 is divisible by 3 because 4 plus 2 plus 9 become 15. 15 is divisible by 3. So this 429 is divisible by 3. On dividing this by 3, you will get the quotient 143. If 143 is divisible by 11, you will get the another prime number 13, which is not further divisible. Therefore, this 429 can be written as product of these prime factors. So 429 is 3 into 11 into 13. The other question which was presented in sample paper issued by CBSE, write 98 as product of their prime factor. Go by the same way, make the tabular division or factor tree. You will get it is 2 into 7 into 7. So it is 2 into 7 square. Another question asked in 2009. So you have to find the exponent of 2 in the prime factorization of 864. So you go for the factorization of 864. Here we are getting 864 divisible by 2. It becomes 432 divisible by 2 become 216 divisible by 2 become 108 divisible by 2 become 54 divisible by 2 become 27. It is divisible by 3 become 9. Further divisible by 3 become 3. Therefore, this 864 can be written as 2 to the power 5 into 3. Here we have to get the exponent of 2 means the power of 2. So here we are getting power of 2 is 5. It may be asked for the power of 3, then it will be 3. It may be asked to get the sum of the exponent. At that time it will be 5 plus 3 become 8. The next question which was asked last year in 2020. So it was asked in MCQ. The sum of the exponent of prime factor in factorization of 196 is, option A is 3, B is 4, C is 5, D is 2. So you have to go for the prime factorization of 196. So it is 2 into 2 into 7 into 7 means 2 square into 7 square. The exponent of 2 is 2, the exponent of 7 is also 2. Therefore, sum of the exponent will be this 2 plus this 2, ultimately 4. So option B is correct. How the question is framed. Now another concept related to multiplier and factor arises is the common multiplier and common factor. So this common multiplier and common factor concept arises for 2 or more numbers taken together. So therefore, for 2 or more number, common multiplier or factor to be selected after writing the possible multiplier or factor of each. From this we can get the lowest common multiplier or highest common factor. Say one question to understand this. So find the common multiplier of this 3 and 8 and 4. So we shall write the common multiplier of 3 and 4. For that, first we shall write the multiplier of 4, then we shall write the multiplier of 3. So write the multiplier series of 3. So multiplier series of 3 are 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, 30, 33. Similarly, the multiplier series of 4 is 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32, 36. Here we are getting that 12 is multiplier of this 3 as well as this 12 is multiplier of 4. So 12 is common multiplier. Moving ahead, here we are getting 24 is multiplier of 3 and this 24 is also multiplier of this 4. So the common multiplier are this 12 and this 24. If we go ahead further, we will get more common multiplier like 36, 48, etc. So here the upper end of multiplier can go up to infinity, but lower end is important, and this lowest common multiplier is called LCM. So common multiplier of this 3 and 4 are 12, 24, 36, 48, and the LCM or lowest common multiplier is 12. More detail we will learn in next section called FTA. Next question is we have to get the common factor of this 12 and 18. For that, we shall write the series of factor of this 12 then of the 18. So factor of 12 are 1, 2, 3, 4, 8 and 12, and factor of this 18 are 1, 2, 3, 6, 9 and 18. Here we are getting that the common factor are the 2, then next is 3, next is 6. Means here 6 is the highest number which is common to both. Therefore, the highest common factor HCF is defined for common factors. So this way HCF can be calculated by writing their common factor. But based on this small concept, the question is given in your book. In exemplar problem exercise number 2, question number 6 is like this. The number 525 and 3000 are both divisible by 3, 5, 15, 25 and 75. What is the HCF of these two? Here the common factors are already given. So we have to get the highest common factor. The highest common factor is 75. It is so simple. Based on above concept, you have to do this homework. All kind of questions are discussed in earlier section. Now we shall go for the next important topic which is present in your book in the form of fundamental theorem of arithmetic. So whatever we have learned till now, that a composite number can be written as product of their prime factors. This is expressed as fundamental theorem of arithmetic. This theorem is like this one. So every composite number can be expressed or written as product of power of prime factors, and this expression is unique apart from the order in which the prime factors occur. So if we take n as a composite number, then it can be broken into p1 to the power n1, p2 to the power n2, into p3 to the power n3, into p4 to the power n4, pm to the power nm. So here p1, p2, p3, pm are prime factors. So keep in mind, prime factors means it is greater than 1, and n1, n2, nm are the degree or exponent of these prime factors. Now this p1, p2, p3 can be obtained with the help of division table or the factor tree method that we have learned in previous section. So let us write this 70 as the product of their prime factors applying the fundamental theorem of arithmetic. This 70 can be written as 2 into 5 into 7, or 5 into 2 into 7, or 7 into 5 into 2. Means these factors can be written in any order. So order is not important, but this 70 will always contain the factor 7, 5, 2. It cannot contain any other factor, means any other prime factor. If we take 420, the factors are 2, 3, 5 and 7. 2 is present twice. Here p1, p2, pmn are prime factors. Other factors can be obtained by combination of these prime factors that we have seen previous question. Combining these, even 2 or taking 3 or taking all, we will get new factors which will not be the prime, but that will also be the factor. So total factor include the 1 and the number itself, and total number of factor that can be obtained without writing all the possible factors. Just by taking the exponent, increase it by 1 Do this for all the exponent and multiply them together, you will get this. So here number of possible factor is n1 plus 1, n2 plus 1 into n3 plus 1 into n4 plus 1 up to nm plus 1. So this is how the number of possible factors can be calculated. And if we want to get the factors excluding number itself and 1, then you have to subtract this 2 from this total number of possible factors. So all these things we have to understand, and based on all this concept various questions are framed, and based on this concept there are 5 broader category of application of this fundamental theorem of arithmetic. So based on this, just for understanding, let us do one question. Means composite number can be written as product of their prime factors. These are the prime factors, and to get this prime factor we shall apply the concept of divisibility of number. So question is, after drawing the factor tree and tabular division, express each of number as the product of the prime factor and also write number of possible factors. So we shall go for the factorization of 504. Take the 504 in a table and get it. You will get that 504 divisible by 2, it becomes 252 divisible by 2, 126 divisible by 2 becomes 63, divisible by 3 becomes 21, divisible by 3 becomes 7. Now leave it at 7. Therefore this 504 can be written in the form of factor tree, where 504 can be written as product of 2 and 252. So take the factor 2 and divide this 504 by this 2, we will get 252. Now this is divisible by 2, so take this 2, divide this 554 by this 2, you will get the other factor 126. Further divisible by 2, on dividing this 126 by 2, you will get 53. So same as this tabular division, but we have to arrange this in the form of this. So this arrangement is called factor tree. Here we are getting, if we start from the lower one, so starting from the lower one and moving upward, we are getting this as the prime factors. So these are the prime factors, and on multiplying these prime factors together we will get this number itself. But the important thing is, here each section can be taken and we can understand what are the intermediary numbers. Say 63. How is this 63? 63 can be obtained by taking this section. 63 is broken into 3 multiplied by 31. So this section can give the factor of 63. Again coming for this next section, if we take this 21, then for 21 this is this section. Considering this section wise, we can get the intermediate, and even without knowing this intermediate one, we can directly get the upper one or the other intermediary. Okay, what are the prime factors of 252? For that we have to go for the prime factor below it. It is this one. So these are the prime factors. It will be 2, 2, this 3, this 3 and this 2. Therefore the prime factors present are 2, 3 and 7. 2 is occurring thrice, 3 is occurring twice, 7 is occurring once. Therefore this 504 can be written as 2 to the power 3, 3 to the power 2 and then 7. Now other factors can obtained by combining these prime factors, and the total number of possible factor can be obtained by applying the formula. Here n1 is like this 3, n2 is like this 2, means exponent of 3, and n3 is the exponent of 7, it is 1. So increase each of these exponent by 1 and multiplying them, we will get the total possible factor, it is 24. Similarly we can do for the second one. Here this 3825 is divisible by 3, So by using the divisibility check, you shall first try with the 3, then you shall go for the 5. Though unit digit is 5, so it is divisible by 5, it is quite obvious. We will get this 3825 is 3 to the power 2, 5 to the power 2 and 17. Total possible factor can be obtained by increasing these exponent 2, 2 and this 1 by 1 each, then multiplying them, we will get it is 80. So this is how the fundamental theorem of arithmetic is applied. Now based on this concept, writing the factor tree, counting the exponent, various applications are there, those things we have to see. So what are the application of fundamental theorems of arithmetic? Broadly there are 5 categories of application, and about each we have to discuss. So very first is writing a composite number as product of the prime factors. That next category is, so for a given exponent we can predict the unit digit. Then the next category is calculation of LCM and HCF. This we will discuss in more detail. The next category is the contradiction method, or proving a number as irrational, like say you have to prove root 2 as irrational, it is this concept. And the next category is predicting the decimal of a fraction, whether it will be terminating or non-terminating decimal. If it is terminating, then after how many places it is going to terminate. So let us start one by one. The first application based on finding the factors or writing the factor tree for a composite number. If n is a composite number, then it can be broken in form of their prime factors. So if p is a prime factor of n, then other factor will be q. If q is not prime, means if q is further composite, then it have another prime factor r and another s. If s is not prime, then it can further be broken into u into v. This u and v are considered as prime. So ultimately this s can be calculated as the product of u and v, and this q can be calculated as product of this r and s. Then this n can be calculated as product of this p and q. Ultimately if we take q, it is the product of r and s, but s itself is product of u and v. So substituting, we are able to get q is r u v. Means this q is product of the prime factors below it. You need to go for s. Take the prime factor below that number q, it is your r, u and v. If you go for n, n is product of p and q, and q is r u v, so n is p r u v. This way the composite number n can be written as product of their prime factor. Based on this, the question is framed. It is important that no need to calculate the intermediate variable, just taking the prime factors below it, you can get the number itself. Say for q, you have to just take r, u and v. So q is r into u into v. You leave this intermediate variable s. Question is like this: write the factor tree for 637, and also we have to write this as product of their prime factor. So we shall first make the factor tree. For making the factor tree, the 637, it is divisible by 7. After dividing this 637 by 7, you will get the factor 91. Now this 91 is further divisible by 7, and the other quotient that you will get is 13. Therefore it is 7 and 13. Now this 13, 7 and 7, these are the prime factors. So therefore 637 can be written as 7 into 7 into 13. So this is how to write a number as product of their prime factors. Based on this, question was asked, it may be possible that some of the numbers given in this factor tree and some of the entries are missing. That you may also calculate. So one of the factor tree is given. Here we have to calculate this A and this B. The other factor 2 is given. So 2 and B are the factor for A, and for B 3 and 7 are the factor. So considering this part, we can get that B is product of the prime factor 3 and 7. So B is 3 into 7, B is 21. Now coming to this other part for A, if we take this one, we can get that it is this segment of the factor tree. A is B into 2 and B can be substituted as 21. Therefore, it will be 21 into 2, it is 42. Or even A can be calculated directly by considering these prime factors. The prime factor are 2, then this 3, then this 7. So it is 2 into 3 into 7, that is also 42. So let us take the bigger tree. So factor tree is given to you and you have to calculate the missing number A, B, C, D and E. So here you shall apply segment wise, means just a part of this factor tree to calculate A, B, C, D. Now you shall take that segment which just contain one unknown. So like we consider for this 1001, then it is broken into C and 143, means 1001 is C into 43. So C can be obtained by dividing this 1001 by 143, you will get this at 7. Similarly, you can choose for the other one. Say if we choose for this one, this part of this factor tree is B, which is broken into 3 and 1001. So B can be obtained by 3 multiplied by 1001. Here it is 3001. Now if we go for this segment, 9009, it is broken into A and B. So 9009 is equals to A into B. Therefore A can be calculated because B we have already calculated here 3003. So it is 9009 by 3003, it is 3. Now coming for D and E, here 143 is broken into 2 prime factors. So 143 can be written as 11 into 13. Therefore, if D is taken as 11, then E will be 13. Or if D is taken as 13, then E will be 11. This is how the question is framed. Based on this concept, so this was the first kind of application where you have to complete the factor tree. Either you have to draw the factor tree, or if some of the entry in factor tree is missing, that you can calculate by taking a small segment of the factor tree. So let us go for the second kind of application. N digit of an exponent can be predicted. N digit means the unit digit. So for that, it is based on the uniqueness of fundamental theorem of arithmetics. So all the factors required for divisibility that decides unit digit must contain m to the power n due to uniqueness of fundamental theorem of arithmetic. This may be used to verify that a particular digit can occur at unit place or not. Means what will be the unit digit of given exponent, means given m to the power n, that can be predicted. We are given with 15 to the power n, n is any natural number, then what will be the unit digit, means possible unit digit for 15 to the power n, that you can calculate by taking the possible value of n, or you can apply this fundamental theorem of arithmetic, you go for the factorization, by that you can predict. We have to check for the digit 0 whether 0 is possible or not. For checking one digit, it is better to go for factorization. So here we are getting 15 is 3 into 5 to the power n, means this contain the factor 3 and 5 only. but for this number to end with 0 means it must be multiple of 10, and for 15 to the power n end with 0, it must contain both the factor 2 and 5, but here 5 is present but 2 is not present, therefore 10 or 0 cannot be produced at the unit digit. This 15 always contain the factor 3 and 5 only, that is called uniqueness of fundamental theorem of arithmetic. Means it will always have the factor 3 and 5 only, though 3 may occur anytime, 3 may be repeated or 5 may be repeated, but it cannot contain other than 3 and 5, any other factor, 2 or 7 or 11 or 13, it is not possible. Therefore 10 ultimately unit digit 0 is not possible. Take the other question. Before going to the other question, this can also be understood or calculated by considering the possible values of n, and this is more common or more fundamental kind of thinking to predict all possible unit digits. So first we shall observe or we shall find what are the possible unit digit for this 15 to the power n. For that you shall take the possible values of n, since n is a natural number, so we shall take 1, 2, 3, 4, then we shall note down the unit digit. See, we are going to take n as 1, then it becomes 15 to the power 1, means it becomes 15, ultimately unit digit we have to consider, so it is 5. If we are going to take 2, means n is equals to 2, then 15 square, it is 225, the unit digit is 5. If we are going to take n as 3, means this 15 to the power q means 215 will again multiply with 15, ultimately we will get the unit digit as 5, because 5 into 5 is again 25, the unit digit. So here we are observing the unit digit is always 5 irrespective of the value of n. So it cannot have any other digit like 0 or 1 or 2 at their unit place, whatever the value of n. Do a few more questions. So we have to check whether this 6 to the power n can end with 0 or not. Again we can go for fundamental theorem of arithmetic. 6 to the power n means it is 2 into 3 to the power n. So 6 contain the factor and 3 only, but for producing 0 it needs the factor 5, and since 5 is not present in the factor of 6 to the power n, so it can never end with 0. The another question. So whether 6 to the power n can end with digit 5? In previous question we had learned that for digit to end with 5, the unit digit must be 5, or this exponent must contain the factor, but 6 it have the factor 2 and 3, it do not have the factor 5, therefore unit digit can never be 5. So this is again based on the uniqueness of fundamental theorem of arithmetic. Another question, question number 4, we have to find all possible unit digits for 8 to the power n. So we have to apply for the second method of this method of, we have to take the possible values of n, since n is natural number, it can be 1, 2, 3, 4, and let us tabulate what will be the unit digit. So if n is 1, the unit digit is 8 to the power 1, it is 8. If we take 2, then 8 to the power 2, it becomes 64, the unit digit is 4. If we take 8 to the power 3, it becomes 64 into 3, so 8 4s are 32, so the unit digit will be 2. If we again go for 4 to the power 4, this 2 have to multiply with this 8 because of increase of exponent from 3 to 4, it becomes 16, the unit digit will be 4. If we further increase 8 to the power 5, again this 6 have to multiply by 8, So it becomes 48. So 8 is here. Further increasing, 8 to the power 6. This 8 have to multiply with the new 8. It becomes 64. So 4 is taken here. Here it is interesting to observe that this set means 8. It is being repeated, same as this one. This 4 for 8 to the power 6. It is same as this one. Means here we are observing that the set of these 4 digits at unit place is being repeated for all others. Therefore, the possible unit digit could be 8, 4, 2 and 6 only. This one. So unit digits are 4, 8, 4, 2 and 6 only. There could not be any other digit at unit place. And even this can be used. This is called a repetition or periodicity. This can be used to determine what will be the unit digit for any particular value of n. If we take 8 to the power 251 we are taking. So 251 divided by 4. Why 4? Because the periodicity is 4. We will get 62 and 3 as the remainder. So taking this remainder. So 3 means then you have to count for 3. If r is equals to 1, it will be 8 for 1. If r is coming as 2, it will be. If r is coming as 3, it will be 2. And if r is 4 or 0 or even 8, the remainder will be 6. So here it is this one, because the remainder is 3. Therefore, the unit digit for the number 8 to the power 251 is 2 only. This is how to predict unit digit. Let us do one more question. So this concept is called the concept of periodicity. Means if we take any exponent m to the power n, then this m to the power n will get repeated. This unit digit or repetition of unit digit is used to predict the possible digits at unit places. For any natural number n, 9 to the power n cannot end with digits. So what could not be the unit digit among this 1, 2 or 9? By tabulation method we can get it very easily. So choose the possible values of n, take n equals to 1, 2, 3, 4, tabulate the unit digit, you will get it. So it is tabulated here. If n is taken as 1, it is 9 to the power 1, unit digit is 9. If it is coming as 2, the unit digit is means 9 square is 81, so unit digit is. We take n is equals to 3, means 9 to the power 3, 81 multiplied by 9, 9 ones are 9, means unit digit will be 9. 9 to the power 4, again this 9 will multiplied with one more 9, it becomes 81, so 1. Here we are getting that the unit digit could be either 9 or 1. The another interesting thing is that if the exponent or power is 1 or 3 or 5, the unit digit is 9. Means for odd exponent, the unit digit will be 9, and for even exponent like 2, 4, 6, the unit digit is 1. So the possible unit digits are 9 and 1 only. Therefore, this 2 is not possible. This is what called the periodicity. Another. So what will be the unit digit of 9 to the power 534? Here 534, we shall focus over this exponent 534. See, this 534 is even, and for the even power from this table for possible values of n and unit digit, we are getting that for even exponent it is. So this can be also calculated by considering the periodicity that we have discussed in previous question. Since the periodicity means the unit digit is repeated after the 2, so divided by 2 we are getting the remainder as 0. When the remainder is 0, it means it is like 2 and the unit digit is 2 or even then it is 1 only. For here the unit digit will be only. Based on this concept, let us do one more question. So we have to check for whether 4 to the power n and 15 to the power m can end with digit 0 or not. Here we have the two base, one is 4, another is 15, and two exponent, one is n, another is m. So and these two are in multiple, so we shall take a factor of each of them. While taking the prime factor, we are getting that it is 2 into 2 and it is 3 into 5 to the power m. Rearranging this, getting inside the bracket we have 2 and 5. Say this 2 and 5 can combine to produce 0, means to give 10, then the unit digit will be 0. If n is taken as 1 and m is also 1, that will be the smallest natural number for both m and n, and the result will give 10, means 5 into 2 become 10. Therefore, produce unit digit 0. And if we take m equals to 1 and n equals to 1 and substitute 4 to the power n and 15 to the power m, we will get it become 4 into 15, so result is 60. So 60 is the smallest number which contain 0 at their unit place for this exponent. This is all about second kind of application of fundamental theorem of arithmetic, and based on this you can practice more questions. So you have to check for whether 4 to the power n can end with digit 0. The answer is no, because 4 do not contain the factor. Similarly for 12 you can do, similarly you can get all the possible unit digit for 7 to the power. So this way we shall end the class here. In the next section or in the next part, we will consider 3 more applications. Till that, you must do all these homeworks.